Hey friends, it's Nicole back with another Mental Health Mondays video. I know it's been a while since I published one, but this is something that has been sitting in my heart and mind for a while. So today we're going to talk about friendships. We're going to talk about how to know if your friendship is not that great for you. Recently, after, turning 40, and I'm just kind of some combination of like more awakened, I am more self-aware, I'm more aware of what my needs are, and not only just aware of them, I care so much more about what makes me happy and what my needs are now than I did certainly in my 20s, but also in my 30s. Now, with that new feeling, I am continuing to examine the relationships that I have, the friendships that I have. And when I get into another romantic relationship, I'll bring this same awareness into that relationship. But today we're going to talk about friendships. So I want to just talk about like how to know, or what are some signs that you can think about when thinking about like the quality of your friendships. I should have thought of a title for this video before I turned on the camera. This is number one for me. Number one is, how does this relationship make you feel? Not the length of the relationship, how long you've known the person, what good memories you have with them in the past. Not like, did y'all go to the same college, or y'all have the same baby daddy, whatever. I'm not talking about that. How does the relationship, how does interacting with this person make you feel today, right now? If you call them on the phone, if they knocked on your door, would you answer the door? Would you be happy to see them? And in examining some of my own relationships, I'm like, wait, no, my answer would be no in some of my relationships. So I have been journaling and thinking and doing some reflection on why that is, and just kind of taking a look at the dynamics of the relationship, how the dynamics have changed over time, and just being honest with how the relationship is no longer a good fit for me. It doesn't mean that I am a good person and that person is a bad person. I think a lot of YouTubers who talk about this kind of stuff, they talk about it from the point of view of like, you, the person watching this video, listening to me, you are an amazing person. Everybody in your life is a piece of shit, and I'll help you figure out why. That's not what I'm saying, because to me, that's not realistic. I'm saying that the relationship may not just be what you need at this point in time. And that's okay. What if relationships are kind of like medication? This, I think, is a good analogy. If I have a stomach ache on Monday, I don't need an antidepressant, probably, right? I'm not a doctor, but you see what I'm saying? If I have a headache, I don't need Neosporin. I need maybe ibuprofen, or I need to take a nap or go for a walk. But if our relationships are supposed to act as like a balm, like help for us to get through this life that is increasingly more frustrating, then examine if your relationships are helpful to you in that way. You may also think of relationships as just, people to do things with, like a social relationship. For me, I don't seek other people really to only do activities with. I seek people who I can grow with, and I can talk to about how they're feeling and how I'm feeling. Like, I'm also seeking emotional support when I think of a friendship. And, sometimes dynamics change and you don't get whatever kind of support you need or you want from the relationship anymore. And that might be a sign that relationship is no longer, a positive one for you. So number two is jealousy. So I know that all of the rap songs tell us, like, hey, you need to keep those hoes mad. I am absolutely in love with like Megan Thee Stallion, Doechii, Cardi. Like, I'm in love. I know. And I know that this is like a very popular sentiment. Like, this is a popular idea that is shared with us in like on social media, flexing for the gram, this idea of like how it's good and how it's empowering to provoke jealousy in other people. But when it comes to a person who is like in your inner circle that is supposed to be someone who can provide whatever kind of support that you want or need, when it comes to that kind of relationship, a close relationship, if your friend is jealous, so this is a dangerous equation in my opinion. A friend that is jealous, so a true friend, like not a true friend, but a friend that has access to your private life, your thoughts, your phone number, like a person who has some access to your life, and that combined with levels of jealousy is very dangerous. I don't know if you've ever listened to a true crime podcast or like noticed almost anything about human behavior since the existence of time. But those two things together, we're thinking Julius Caesar. Like, those two things together are very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Ranging from the benign, so if you have a friend who is jealous of you, they may make sarcastic remarks about, something that you're trying to do, or a new look that you're trying, or the new car or house that you bought, the new apartment that you're renting or whatever. They could just make some, kind of catty remarks, all the way to maybe they slash the tires on your new car, or they do something worse, right? So keeping people who are jealous of you, and I believe in your ability to intuit whether or not someone is jealous of you. In order to be able to do it in a way that is truthful, you have to remove your own ego, though. You can't just walk around saying everybody is jealous of you, because you're not living in a rap song. Everybody is probably not actually jealous of you. If you think that you might like just be a jerk and people are trying to let you know, but use your intuition, your judgment, your pure of heart to really be honest with yourself and see if you see signs of jealousy from your friends, and examine how that relationship affects you and how that jealousy could affect you. Dealing with a person who is jealous of you can be really confusing at first until you kind of figure it out. And then you kind of have to go from there to determine if that person still needs to be a part of your life. So that's my advice. My advice is to not ignore when you see jealous behaviors are happening. If you decide to still be friends with that person, or if you know that they're going through something, their behavior's off or whatever, but if you decide to keep in contact with that person, I think at the very least you should always keep it at the forefront of your mind that you're dealing with a person who is exhibiting some jealous behaviors towards you, and you should be aware of that. You should be careful about that. So that's my 2 cents. The third thing that I am examining in my own relationships is your future, your path. I want you to think about where you are right now, like in your life right now, and what you're trying to do right now, and what you're trying to accomplish, or how you're trying to live, be, feel right now and in your future. Not how you were living and being and feeling in the past, but right now and for your future. And examine if your friendships support what you want for your future life. Some of your friendships, they may, but some may not. And sometimes the paths that we're on with our, in our own lives, especially when you start to want something different, if you start to, for example, if you're running with a group of people who are like super flashy, spending a lot of money, people who are still more impressed with like material things. And again, this is not a moral judgment. I'm not saying that you're better than them because you want to become a minimalist or something, because I don't think of people like that. It's just a different path to an extent. But if you are running with people right now who are very much into like being flashy, spending a bunch of money, like flexing on the gram or whatever, and you are kind of feeling like, you know what? I don't really want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I do want to become like a minimalist. I want to spend more of my time like traveling, or my money traveling, or I want to start like doing more community service. I want to whatever. Or even if you're just tired of it and you just want a break or whatever, like whatever the thing is. When you make a big life change, or when you're in the process of making a big life change, I don't think we talk enough about how your relationships, your platonic relationships, I think it's pretty obvious if you're like, oh, I want to go from living in $1 million house to starting a convent in Idaho. Like, you already know that your husband or your wife is going to be like, oh, this is different. But your friendships, your platonic relationships also can either support that new dream, or they can be not supportive. And for me in my life, I am trying to build my YouTube channel. I'm trying to build like different resources that I can, share with people, especially people who don't have financial resources to access psychological therapy, which has been so helpful to me. Like, I am trying to do something in my life and with the rest of my life that is totally 100% new from what I have ever done in the entirety of my life. And unfortunately, a lot of my platonic relationships, they don't support that. When I talk about things that I want to do or I'm trying to do, I do not receive any kind of interest or support from, most of the people that I know right now. And at first, that was very discouraging to me, because when you're starting something new, I don't think we always know to start to look for new people to talk to about whatever the new thing is. Like that, I mean, to me that seems profound, but nobody told me like, hey, if you're trying to do something brand new in your life, you should maybe find some group or something of people who are doing something similar and go share with them and seek support in that way. That never occurred to me, and I did not do that. So as I have started to, share what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, what I'm going through, the lack of interest at first, it really bothered me. But now I see it's just a different path. Like, I am starting to do what I can to put like little stepping stones on a path that is different from working, a 9-to-5 job and having like spending lots of money on stuff and just always in the search of more and more expensive things. That's just a different path that I'm not on anymore. I still want some expensive things like a nice condo and a Range Rover, but the way that I am going to be making money, I'm trying to make a new path. The way that I am hoping to leave a legacy behind is on this path. the way that I am hoping to connect with people in the future. It's also on this path. It's not on this one anymore. So I am just having to be honest about where, where these paths sometimes might cross again, where they might run parallel again, but also knowing that and being okay with the fact that, okay, I'm starting this new path. There will be new people on this path that I get to meet and talk to, and that's very exciting. And I'm hopeful that those new relationships will be good for me and will feed me. So, again, none of this is to say that any of the friends that you have right now are good or bad. That's up to you to decide. I'm sharing these things as ways for you to become more aware of how the relationships may or may not be meeting whatever need you have. So like at the beginning of the video, I said that in my relationships, I am primarily seeking emotional support. What kind of support are you seeking? How are your relationships either feeding that level of support that you need? And also vice versa. Maybe I'll make a second video about how we are available to other people, how that can change over time, because that has also changed in my life. So I think I'll make another video about that. So if you would like to see that upcoming video, and if you have any comments about this subject, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to comment. I love to read all the comments. I'm still a very small YouTuber, so you're pretty much guaranteed that I will see whatever comment that you make and respond to it probably immediately. So I hope that you enjoyed this topic and this talk, and love you. I will see you in the next one. Namaste.